Hey everyone, it's Danielle again with Royal Botanical Gardens, here to do a fun science experiment that you can conduct at home right in your own backyard. So we're going to be looking today at water absorption in the ground. We're going to be comparing a few different sites and how they absorb water. You're going to need a few things for your experiment, so if you come on down, you're going to need some kind of small cup, or in this case I'm using a measuring cup, that works too. You're going to need a can, and you want to make sure that the lid is taken off on both sides. Water bottle, and you're going to need a piece of paper so that you can record your results with a pencil, and something to keep track of time, so whether it's a watch, a phone, whatever that might be. And then you need to pick and decide a few different locations where you want to test water absorption. So you want to pick locations that are fairly different. So today I'm going to be looking at a few different examples. We're going to be starting off with an area that's grassy. Then we're going to be going into the garden. Are you ready to follow along? Let's get started. So come on over. First thing you want to do is grab your can. You want to put it right into the ground. You want to push it in, make sure it's nice and tightly sealed. Push it in. Then fill up your water cup. All the way. Then what we're going to do is we are going to time how long it takes for the water to get completely absorbed into the ground. So make sure you have your time device ready and handy. Let's find out how long it takes. So like I said, make sure you have a nice tight seal. Push it down. You might need to hold it tight. Ready? Go. And then get this ready. Alright, and go. Let's see how long it takes for it to get absorbed completely into the ground. So I'm holding it nice and tight just to make sure I have a tight seal. Almost at 30 seconds, still taking time for it to get absorbed. Slowly getting absorbed, a little bit at a time. Almost at a minute. You want to make sure that that water is all gone before you stop. Just about there. We're good. Stop. Perfect. So that was about a minute and 28 seconds. So I'm going to record that on my piece of paper so I don't forget. 1 minute and 28 seconds. I'm going to do the exact same thing again, but this time we're going to do it just in the garden. So what do you think? Do you think it's going to take longer, or do you think it's going to take slower for the water to get absorbed into the ground? Let's test it out. Same thing again. Push it into the ground. Make sure again that there's a nice tight seal. Taking my water, pouring it into the cup. And I'm getting my timer ready. And are you ready? And go. Oh. Push it down a little bit tighter. It's almost gone. Almost. And stop. And that was a total of 34 seconds. So again, I'm going to record that on my piece of paper. So now, why do you think it took less time for water to get absorbed into the garden compared to into the grass? There's a few reasons why that's the case. But first, before I explain why that's happening, I want to test out something completely different. We're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to do it on concrete. Alright, so like I said, let's do something completely different. Now we're going to pour water onto concrete. I don't actually really need my hand for this, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to fill up my cup with water again. Then I'm going to pour it onto concrete. What do you think is going to happen? Same thing if I was to do this on pavement. What do you think is going to happen to the water? Let's find out. So, does it look like the water got absorbed? No. What did you notice? Two things that's happening here with the water. It's either running off, which is the case here, or it might get absorbed by the sun. So not absorbed, but I should say evaporated by the sun and by the heat. It's not getting absorbed into the ground. And that's because with pavement and concrete, it's not a porous area. So there's no empty spaces or holes to fill. The water is looking for somewhere to go, but it's not getting soaked into the ground like we saw in the grass or in the garden. So there's no empty space for pockets. So the water is just running off, and it's either gonna get evaporated by the sun or by the warmth like we mentioned. Now in the ground, whether it's in the grass or in the garden, there are empty pockets filled with air, and when we're pouring water into those areas, it's looking for those spaces to fill. The grass took a lot longer than the garden, and that's because the grass, well, the ground, it's really smushed together, it's really compact. So those empty spots are really, really small. Comparing the garden, the soil and the ground is really nice and airy and fluffy. So it's really easy for water to find those empty spaces. So why is this important? Well, for a few different reasons. Living in a city, whether it's Hamilton, Burlington, wherever you are, if you have an area that's just filled with pavement or concrete, then water has a hard time finding places to go. So it means that you're going to have a lot of issues with flooding. So adding things like plants are going to help absorb some of that water that it comes in contact with. So adding a lot of plants, a lot of natural space, that's going to help reduce flooding, especially in areas like cities where we find a lot of concrete and pavement. Now, if you're noticing, let's say in your own backyard, that you have areas where the water either gets absorbed really fast or really slow into the ground, that's going to help you decide what kind of plants can grow in those areas. So areas that are really wet, you want to pick plants that can tolerate those really wet conditions, because it means that that ground, even though it takes long for the water to get absorbed, it's also going to hold onto that water for a really, really long time. So thanks so much for joining me today. Hopefully you get a chance to do this experiment at home. Don't forget, go check out RBG at home, and you'll see a lot more educational videos, fun tips, gardening videos as well, and hope to see you again soon. Till next time, take care.